The great thing about having Uncharted as source material to base the film upon is that the tone was so well established. The humor, the relationship, it was all there. There was a template that we could follow. But then, of course, when you're making a film and not a video game, we have to make it our own. And so the ways that Tom brought so much personality to Nathan Drake, a young Nathan Drake, this is a true kind of hero's journey where you pluck a kid out of obscurity, not unlike Luke Skywalker on a distant planet who then gets to go fight on this galactic scale. Nathan Drake is this kind of obscure bartender who has a connection to this mystery, but also he's just kind of living in obscurity. And then, Sully approaches him with this opportunity to not only find the treasure, but possibly find his brother. A lot of credit goes to Tom Holland, who is willing to put his body on the line to achieve the things. A lot of times you just hand it over to the stunt double, and you never see their faces, and it just, you can tell that it's fake. But I love seeing the actors' faces in the middle of all this action, and instead of shooting it close where you're kind of hiding what they're doing, I like to shoot it wide so you can see that it's really them and they're really in that place and they're really doing their thing. And while we didn't actually hang him out of the back of a plane, he took hard falls. He was tumbling, rolling, slamming, hanging on for dear life on the back of one of those robotic arms that was tossing those boxes around. It was really a tribute to his athleticism and his commitment to always giving 150% towards every sequence. The neat thing about working with Tom was that he's such an avid fan of the games in like a real way. It's not just lip service. Like, he's played every one of them. He knows them backwards and forwards. And so he had a level of commitment to the character and to the franchise that even exceeded my own, just because he was such an avid fan. I was familiar with the games, but not on the same level. And so I think when he took this role upon himself, you can see the transformation he went through to go from Peter Parker to Nathan Drake. Like, physically, he was so, big and jacked, and he really trained a ton before we even got to set. And then once we were there, he just every day gave his all. He's endlessly creative. He's willing to be as collaborative as you could ever hope for. And he just holds himself to a really high standard, which is why I think he's so good at what he does. In the casting of this film, when you have two such compelling actors as Mark and Tom at the center of it, it was really important to me that they have a worthy adversary. And so in casting a Spanish, the son of a dynasty who is both, really educated, smart, worldly, charismatic, but also menacing and dark and dangerous, the only person I ever could think about for that part was Antonio Banderas. Somebody who can do the most dramatic roles, but also bring humor and interest to every part he's played. And I just knew that with Mark and Tom, we had to have somebody that felt like an equal as far as a villain. And I was just beyond thrilled that Antonio agreed to be a part of the film. He is so distinguished as a person. He's so experienced. He's a gentleman. And he brings so much weight, dramatic weight, to the screen that, I'm just thrilled with his performance. The great thing for this movie is that the video game set the bar so high with the action that we felt like we had to deliver on that same scale, which is a lot easier said than done. But I'm really proud of the way that the action in the film turned out. The sequence where Nate's falling out of the plane is one of the most iconic from the video game franchise, and it's a tough target to hit. But due to the creativity of my stunt coordinator and second unit director Scott Rogers, as well as the writers who came up with it and everyone else that was a collaborator on the film, we really, pushed ourselves to try and meet the level that the video games had set.
It's rare to find actors that are multi-talented, quite like Tom Holland here. Our man, Spider-Man right now, he's just blowing the box office right off the top right now with No Way Home. So it's really cool to see him right back out there on a different type of film. Having seen Cherry, if you haven't seen that on Apple Plus, his acting ability is just as staggering as his stunt ability. So if you really like this film and you enjoyed all of his stunts and everything, it's really cool to see actors really take it to the next level and be multi-talented like this. So if you learned some cool stuff from this behind the scenes here of Uncharted, let me know down in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you here next time. Later.